Now then guys, welcome back to the channel. Over the next 24 hours, well 48 hours, you're going to join me as I head to Poolbridge, which is a local lake to me. It's made up of two lakes that I fish, which is Q Lake and M Lake. The first 24 hours we're going to spend the time on Q Lake. Second time I fished it, managed to get onto peg 10, just as the wind's starting to blow into the corner where it is, and we're coming through a period where we're going to see the pressure drop. After that, the next morning, we're going to go and meet up with my brother on M Lake. He's not been fishing too long for carp. When we used to match fish, he continued, and at the age of about 13, I moved on to carp. So Q Lakes, it's about 8 acres in size, and it's pretty unique in the sense that you fish from the middle on the island. Each peg has its own piece of water, and you can clearly see the left and right hand markers of your peg, so there's no casting over anybody else's lines, people casting into your swim, and all of that stuff that generally annoys on day tickets. It's a bit of a pseudo day ticket membership lake. You have to join as a member first, and then you pay by the day session after that. It's got fish up to about 38 pounds with a head of, I think it's 6 known fish over 30. So there's some good fish to go at, a lot of 20s and good head of doubles as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. Once we've finished over on Q Lake and M Lake, we're going to come back. I'm going to have to do a bit of work because I do work for a living, and then after that we're going to head over to Ripon, where my syndicate lake is, and I'll explain a bit more about it there. So rather than just me sat here talking to you, let's head over to the lake and go fishing. Right, so that's us set up now in peg 10. I've found 3 clear spots on the far side there. So one just by the overhanging willow, which you can just see above me there to the right of the screen, and then a couple of others just dotted along that have been glugged in the yeast extract. And over the top of those I'm just fishing some small bags with little wafters in. So I've got a SLK wafter on one, and then Fruitylicious and Raspberry on the other 2. We'll just wait and see which one produces, and then probably switch over to those. So it's only my second time at Q Lakes. Lovely place, and first time on peg 10. I think there's probably about 6 or 7 maybe that are around the £30 mark. They're all a bit down in weight at the moment because they just spawned recently, but yeah, there are some beautiful fish in here, and a couple that I'd really quite like. Been meaning to fish here for years, but work hasn't allowed with being based down south. So now I'm back up north for a short period of time. I plan on getting on here and my syndicate up and ripping as much as possible. There we go, first. First fish from Q there. Haven't had a chance to wait yet. We'll do that in a moment once we've done the pictures. Lovely little fish, great fight. Drop back just came out of nowhere from a small solid bag to the island. Happy with that. Hey, stones in my Crocs. So it's coming up about 6 o'clock now. That first fish, 19.5 in the end, once we'd minus the £3 or so off the sling. The bite came out of nowhere. I sat there thinking about redoing the rods, and as it happens you switch off for a couple of minutes, had a massive drop back on the middle rod. Bobbin just hit the floor, and yeah, started reeling in. Thought initially that it had probably done me. About halfway across, connected with it. Yeah, was able to slide the net under that really nice common. Just contemplating now whether to reel in, go and put a bit more bait out on the spots, and then cast out. We'll see how it goes. I'll give it another 15 minutes, and yeah, if I see anything show, I'll probably leave it out there, but I haven't seen anything since that last fish, so I might go and put some bait out. So guys, as you'll have just seen from that little clip there and behind me, looks like we've got a bit of a rainstorm coming on. Over the next 12 hours the pressure is due to drop and fall below 1,000, looking at like mid 900s, which hopefully will mean we'll be into some more fish. It's been pretty quiet for the last hour or so since that last fish. Had a few liners on the left hand rod, which is just out on the other side about a foot off on a clear patch that I found. It looked like it was going to materialise into a run, but nothing happened, so just been sat here getting harassed by work, trying to look for fish, and yeah, getting pillaged by the ducks and the moorhens, who are they're pretty bold, to be fair. They've been right in the bivvy, going straight through the pellets and boilies. Absolutely mental. But wind's dropped now, which it was due to do. It'll pick back up in about an hour or so, and with that hopefully we'll start seeing some fish show. There's a few in the far bay, but that's the lad on my right hand side's water, so hopefully they move across. Users, you're right. So I've just come round the other side of the lake that you can just see over my left shoulder there. Nothing materialised from those vicious liners that I was getting. Waited about half an hour, 45 minutes, and it was just dead as a dodo. Brought the rod back in, and yeah, it looked like there was nothing on the hook to say that it maybe been done or anything like that. So I've come back over the other side. I'm just using the fact that the wind's died down on this side of the peg, or on this side of the lake, sorry, to my advantage, just to go and have a look, see if I can see anything onto my spots, and then feed a bit of bait in. So let's get it done. All we've been doing there, as you can see, is just adding a mix of halved SLK and S7, as well as some of the K-stim and some Coppins pellets there. Right then guys, second fish there, literally just getting into bed, watching a bit of carp angle, and the left hand rod tore off. Shane came over to give us a hand, and halfway through, middle rod went off as well, but nothing materialised. So I'll just give it a quick weigh and get it back. Oh. What a night. Probably started raining at maybe 10 o'clock and didn't stop pretty much the whole way through until maybe about 6 o'clock this evening. It started off like it was going to be a really good night of fishing. About 11 o'clock, there or thereabouts, I had a screaming run on the left hand rod. Nice 21-pound common to show for it. Immaculate fish. Something that I need to work on for these videos is how to take videos properly at night, because when you see the clip you'll just see a outline of a fish. Luckily Shane next door took some photos which we'll get in there now. Then yeah, got back inside the brolly and tried to weather out the rain. About 1:30 my middle rod absolutely tore off, and connected into a fish, had it on probably for about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a bit less. Got it into the middle, into the open water, and a hook pull, which was pretty good. And although to be honest I was half asleep, fell over my rods as I came out, and it wasn't really until I got back in the bivvy, having cast the rods out again, that I realised what had happened. So yeah, bit of a nightmare last night. So plans for today: I'm gonna have a brew and then pack up shortly with the rain just about to come, and then we're gonna head over to M Lake to meet my brother. He's joined the dark side, or should I say left the dark side, about a year ago, having caught and mash fish most of his life. Decided that he got fed up fishing on his own, so started carp fishing. So we're going to go over there and do a bit with him. He's still learning, so hopefully we'll be able to get a bend in the rod. If I don't see you on Q Lake between now and getting over to M, quite clearly nothing worth reporting, so I'll catch you over on M. Well, no sooner as I just said that to you guys, got a bit of redemption on the middle rod. First mirror of the session. Let's get her out and have a look. Literally just finished that message to you guys, and middle rod ups and away, and yeah, it's gonna start kicking the shit out of me now. But yeah, this right, let's try that again. This lovely, is it gonna kick off? And then, right, yeah, just packing away after doing that last message to you, and this lovely 18-pound mirror just stormed away. It's crapping bait out everywhere, so it's clearly been on the feed somewhere. Very, very lively, so we'll get it back. What a session. Hey. Right then, so just got over on town lake after taking a little bit of time to get changed and showered after coming off Q Lake. Met my brother in the car park at about 10 o'clock. Bought me a Mackey's, which was great, and now we're set up on M Lake. So M Lake is the latest addition to the Poolbridge lakes. Mike over winter connected what was the old Carp Lake and another course lake, and turned it into an M, hence the name. It's got a decent stock of carp to, I think, mid-20s, a lot of smaller fish, and it's just decent runs water. So we've booked ourselves onto pegs 7 and 8 today. Command quite a bit of water, and yeah, it's just a chance for my brother to get a bend in the rod, as he's been blanking now probably since last August, I reckon. So yeah, he's not been carp fishing that long, though I feel like we keep on saying that, and it's probably into years now. I think he's just not that good, to be honest. He doesn't really listen. Right. But yeah, I'm not going to do too much filming. Camera's running low on battery, and just want to enjoy the day. So once he's into his first fish, we'll give you a little picture. All right, into the first fish. It's not the biggest in the world, but certainly put up a decent scrap. Fought harder than that 21 that I had last night. Covered in leeches, but not going to bother weighing him. We've just redone my brother's rigs, just getting those solid bags back out, and yeah, we're going to go again from there. Happy days. Fish number 3. It's a bit bittersweet, this one. Betty just had a screaming run as I was playing this one, and fortunately it came off at the net. So this one was just to the island behind me. There's a little plateau that I'd seen from where Mike put some pictures up of them digging over winter, and it was just on top of that. Another fruitylicious boilie from DNA. Let's get it back. It's fish number 4 there, much better fish than the last one. Just gonna get it out now, won't bother videoing it or filming it, just gonna slide it back. You literally couldn't have. Right guys, just as we were filming my brother playing that fish there, last gasp attempt, my rod received a pretty big drop back bite. His fish unfortunately came off, but I was blessed with this nice little one to see the day off. We're literally all packed up and good to go. So I had a great 24 hours down at Poolbridge. Tomorrow afternoon I'm off to my syndicate for a night, maybe into Thursday night as well, we'll see. Now then guys, right, we finally got down to my syndicate, which is just outside Ripon. It's coming on probably about 24 hours since we were at Poolbridge M Lake. Life got in the way this morning and wasn't able to get here till about 1:30, and then it probably took me a good hour and a half just to look around the lake and try and locate the fish and get into a peg. So done that now. It's coming up about 4 o'clock. The lake that we're on, like I said, it's a little syndicate just outside Ripon that I came across at the start of the year. It's got 75 known fish in it and a few originals. It was otted quite badly a few years ago, so Paul and Suzanne, the owners of the lake, decided to take it from a day ticket, turn it into a syndicate. They put an otter fence round, and they know the 75 fish that they've stocked themselves up to high 20s. There's a few older fish, but we're not really sure what was left of the original stock, which is what really excites me about this place. The fish that they've got are beautiful VS fish, all scaly, and I'm just loving getting down here once a week and slowly ticking my way through them. So the lake's probably about 3 acres in size, with about 9 islands. Most of the swims you're guaranteed to kind of be secluded on your own, and no one else will really fish in your water. What we've done today is we've come up to the eastern edge of the lake, which is the top half of the lake, as the wind's blowing right into the corner, and when I was walking around, all the fish that I could see were at the top here. So it's all really close range work here. Never really fishing more than 7 wraps out. At the moment I've got 2 rods out, which is the maximum you're allowed here. My left hand one is just down the margin at 5.5 wraps in front of a weed bed, and then the right hand one is just next to a weed bed right on the edge of the island. Put about 6-7 spods of bait over them, mainly made up of chopped SLK, chopped S7, Coppins pellets, a bit of the cased in pellets, as well as a load of corn. Love using corn on this lake. They react really well to it. It's a mix that I'll probably take with me most places, linear, wherever it happens to be, and it works generally well. We're here until probably about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, at which point this first episode will be wrapped up, which I'm looking forward to, as it's been one hell of a learning curve so far. Getting used to talking in front of the camera, not being so military like I am, like I'm briefing the lads or anything like that. It's been quite alien to me, so I'm looking forward to seeing how my character develops over the course of these vlogs. Let me know what you think, let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll start tailoring those accordingly, because it's something that I'm keen to get involved in, and it just adds a bit of interest and excitement into the fishing whilst you're sat waiting for the rods to go off. So without further ado, I'm gonna get set up, get the rods properly going, and yeah, just show you a few shots of the pegs and we'll go from there. So the thing to know about brickyards, it's about 30-40 years old. It was an old brickworks back in the day. Despite that, the lake bed's pretty uniform. It averages about 3.5 to 4 foot throughout. There's a few shallower spots between the islands, and the deepest part of the lake is just behind us there, where there's a bowl which moves down to about 5 foot. Lake bed is made up mainly of silt. There are some hard brick spots that you can find if you have a lead around, and then there's also a weed as well, which the fish love to get in. It's not so much a bed of weed and you're looking for clear spots, it's more beds of weed that can act as a pretty good feature. There's also a lot of swan mussels in here as well. Few swan mussel beds which are worth targeting, but for the most part what I've found is the fish tend to like the snags. There's a lot of overhanging trees here, and it's a very marginy type water where rather than fishing out to the islands tight up and things like that, most of my bites have come from fishing snags, spotting over the top of it, or just a few handfuls of bait. What we're using today, Old Faithful solid bags again, this time made up of that mix that you saw earlier on the clips, but same again, using the Fruitylicious wafters from DNA as well as their SLK wafters. Absolutely love these, love those rigs, love using solid bags, and it's something that I'm pretty confident in here. You'll probably notice that I've changed pegs. All I've done is move further down to the left, so just a peg, yeah, maybe 40-50 yards down from where I was. Reason being, it was quite a tricky cast from that angle over on my on the peg on my right, just to get it into this overhanging tree that I'm aiming towards. So I nearly set up in this peg earlier on, but the drama is if someone else decides to come on the lake, there's a peg just down there, and then it kind of becomes a bit contentious as to whose water it is. I can still get to my right hand spot just under the tree on the island. It's still 5.5 wraps out, but now I'm able to get to that tree more accurately, and that's the one that I feel is probably going to produce me fish. I just love this place. The weather's absolutely gleaming. I mean, I know it's midweek, but how many places can you come nowadays where you know that you're guaranteed to pretty much be the only one on during midweek? Absolutely love it. Like, you're actually able to follow the fish act how they generally would if there wasn't any angling pressure, and it's just a much nicer angling experience. I don't think there's many syndicates, let alone day tickets, around the country at the moment where you can do that. So absolutely living the dream right now. Gonna have a beer in a minute, get some food on, and just sit here and enjoy the sun, and hopefully something will kick off. Well, don't know if you can class that. Don't know if you can class that as a blank or not, or a blank saver. But yeah, little roach just on the end of the hook as I brought the rod back in there. Hey. So, as you can see from those clips that I've just shown, we've gone from that scorching afternoon that we've had to, and now it's becoming quite overcast as this wind blows over from the west. It's looking good for a bite. One of the other members, Martin, has just shown up about an hour ago, and he's had one of the smaller residents, a little common carp, just on a small bag with a sticky manila wafter. I think he was fishing on it. So it's looking likely. My left hand rod has just been plagued by ducks, Canada geese, swans, pretty much anything that's feathered that can sit on water has had a go at it. I mean, I swear there was even a bloody wood pigeon that tried dive bombing it earlier on. Yeah, it's been a nightmare. So as it starts to go a bit darker, I'm gonna recast that bag again, put some more bait out over the top, because I'm pretty sure it's been wiped out, and hopefully that will do something. Right hand rod, I've had a couple of knocks on it, seen a couple of fish rolling over it, and there was a little bit of fizzing just a little while ago, so hoping something materialises. I'm feeling confident, although last 2 sessions that we've had on this vlog, we've fished, we've caught, so it'd probably only be natural that it would be this one, the one where I want to show you some fish from the syndicate, that we don't get anything. But we're on it till about 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Might push it to the right a bit, depending on how we get on. So as you can tell by the darkness, it's coming up 10 o'clock. Ducks have finally left my spot, which is good news. So I'm going to go and put a bit more bait over the top. I've really been struggling on that left hand rod where I've been casting to that overhanging snag to actually get it exactly where I want it. When I cast 2 or 3 times to clip up, nailed it every time, straight into the little hole in the tree that I wanted. But since putting the bags on, it's like I'm bottling it when I cast, and it's just landing to the left or just landing to the right and not on that sweet spot. And I think the difference it's making where it lands there is marginal, but it's all about that confidence, and it just, yeah, I'm not getting that warm fuzzy feeling, but we'll bait up and see what happens. Well, that was an anticlimax. Yeah, I'm really in last chance saloon here at the moment. Went to bed about 1 o'clock last night, and you could hear the fish boshing in the space just behind the island and the channel that I was fishing in, so I was feeling pretty confident on that left hand rod whizzing away. About 1:30, received a couple of liners on that left hander, and it just never materialised into anything. The night went pretty quiet until about 6 o'clock, when I was getting left hand line bites on my right hand rod, and same again, nothing materialised. Martin had one more throughout the night, stunning little mirror, yeah, really pretty looking fish, but myself, it looks like I'm facing my first blank on this venue. I've never blanked here on all the sessions, and to be honest, for the last month I've kind of neglected coming down. Was fishing it once a week, baiting a few spots and having pretty decent success. My attention is focused onto other waters over the last month, and yeah, it looks like I've seen my arse for it really, but it has given me the incentive to get back down and give it another shot and get my head properly into it. So yeah, it's pretty much the end of the session. I can't really complain because we had a great 2 days over at Poolbridge with myself on Q Lake and then my brother and me on M Lake. Last night would have just been the icing on the cake if I could have put a couple of fish on the bank just to show you, but that's why we come fishing, isn't it? So I'm not going to be able to get out now much for the next month as I'm down south with work, but once I've done that, I'm actually going to be fishing solidly for a week towards the start of August. I'd normally look to go to France and had a road trip out in France fishing public waters planned for this year, but COVID's put pay to that, so I'm planning on going around the UK, fishing a couple of decent waters down there, and making a little challenge for myself where I have to catch one fish at one of the venues before I move on to the next. Venues that I'm looking at the moment, potentially Elfix, Linear, possibly Bluebell, and then I'm quite keen to get over to the embryo waters, the Norton Disney. They look quite interesting, but if you've got any ideas or any suggestions about where I could go to add it to the challenge, I'm looking to spend probably about 36 hours at each venue before I then have to move on to the next one, with myself eventually working my way back up north and fishing the water up here. Then please let me know. Hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Like I said at the start of this bit of the session at the Syndicate, getting used to the cameras is a bigger task than I actually thought it would be. So yeah, bear with me. Character will start to come through as the vlogs get going. Really enjoy making them, enjoying filming them, and it's something that I intend on doing for the foreseeable future. So thanks for watching, and tight lines, and I'll see you on the bank next time. Well, I'll show you the swim in a minute. Absolute carnage.